Holy shit, YouTube, this new trailer is so goddamn beautiful. It shows us so much. We get to see pretty much all the Turks except for Rufus. No Red 13. We get to see like some just random gameplay of like Cloud playing darts and then like working out at that gym in Walmart. We get to see some of the Walmart stuff. Aerith in that red dress with the red ribbon. New character right here. Don't even know who that is. We get to see Don Corneo. We get to see summons. We get to see a lot of stuff. It's actually kind of surprising because a lot of us were expecting a pretty short like teaser trailer essentially. Like the Symphonic Reunion trailer, the State of Play trailer were both like a minute long. Like we didn't expect anything that substantial, but this is a 2-minute and 40-second trailer. Like this is a legitimate trailer for the game. So I figured we'd pretty much do a trailer breakdown. We're not going to go frame by frame and discuss every little thing that happens, but the things that stood out to me I do want to talk about. So the trailer opens up with the Watchmen of Fate attacking Sector 7 slums, but more specifically attacking the 7th Heaven Bar, which of course is the hideout of Avalanche. Now we've seen the Watchmen of Fate a few times in the other trailers. Of course they surround Aerith and Cloud. At first we were like, what the hell are these things? We got an official description a couple months back from Tetsuya Nomura that says, the Watchmen of Fate, the Black Mist in the trailer, are mysterious beings that appear before the party wherever they go. Hope that even those who have played the original game will enjoy the new elements. We also know that they're seemingly connected to Sephiroth because of this key art. You can see them in the background, but that's kind of all we know at this point. They're not in the original game. They're a brand new element to the remake. All we really know is that they attack us. That's kind of it. And while they are a new element when it comes to FF7 Remake, them attacking the 7th Heaven Bar is also something brand new because nothing like that happens in the original game. We get some more motorcycle scenes, which is pretty cool. We've seen some of that in previous trailers, but then we get this random character that I pointed out near the beginning of the video that I have no idea who this guy is. Now, admittedly, I don't have the entire universe of FF7 memorized by heart, but I really only lack knowledge of Before Crisis and Dirge of Cerberus, and this character just does not register with me. Plus, he has a very distinct weapon, very distinct hairstyle, blonde hair, he's on a red motorcycle. Just nothing about this stands out from the original game at all, or any of the extended universe for me. So he's got to be a new character. And then out of nowhere, we get this random parachuting scene, which did not exist in the original game, at least in the early stages. When we come back to Midgar later on, like Disc 3 or something like that, we parachute into Midgar, but Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge are long dead at that point. So I'm not really sure what to make of this scene or how to interpret it, just because it's something that didn't exist in the original game either. From here, we get the scene of the Turks coming to the Sector 5 church to try to get Aerith, which there's nothing really to break down or talk about here, but we do get to see Reno and Rude for the first time, which is pretty damn awesome. I do like, however, that Reno has this unique attack animation right here that knocks Cloud back. And then, of course, we get to see Rude for the first time. They both look exactly like you'd expect them to look in this game, nothing really different from the original character models. And then from there, we get a look at Aerith in the red dress during the Wall Market segment, which is awesome. My first little tease is something Wall Market related, something I've been asking for a long time now. And then out of nowhere, we get a Don Corneo character reveal, which is awesome because I've been wanting to see his character model for a long time, but he looks strange. He doesn't look anything like I expect him to look, and his hair is moving around in this awkward way that just bothers me, man. The animation is just strange. And here we get the song character reveal, which is awesome, but the scene opens up with Aerith and Marlene, so I'm assuming this is Aerith's house, and this is probably where they kidnap Aerith or whatever. We see her on the helicopter with Song when we go up that tower and pillar where Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge die. And them kidnapping Aerith is what motivates us to go to the Shinra building to save her, where we find, of course, Red 13. Speaking of that tower, we actually get a scene of that, of Avalanche fighting their way up to the top of it, fighting Shinra. This is, of course, if it's like the original game, is where Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge are going to die, unless they decide to change that. Something I did take note of, however, is that this is all entirely cutscene stuff and not actual gameplay, so I'm wondering if we're actually going to get a walk up the tower ourselves, like we did in the original game, fighting enemies along the way, or if it's just going to be a cutscene all the way to the top. I have no idea. And speaking about that helicopter earlier that has Aerith and Song on board, that's what this should be right here. The next couple of shots are some environmental gameplay, but we do get to see the train car where they're scanning people, and we get to see Tifa kind of traversing something probably inside of a Mako reactor. In the next scene, we get a very brief clip of Cloud playing darts, and I don't know if this is a cutscene or an actual minigame, but hopefully it's something we can actually do. And we get some more Wall Market stuff with Cloud doing the squats minigame, but also Tifa doing a pull-up minigame, which is obviously brand new, and in the original game, none of the other characters could do it, it was only Cloud. And then next we get what seems like generic gameplay, but if you actually pay attention, Barrett is destroying that wall in front of him, which is awesome, so more of the destructible environment stuff. And then we get a scene of Cloud being turned into a frog, which is awesome to know that that status element is coming back, but if you pay attention, the Buster Sword is still on his back as the frog. And then we get a kind of character model reveal for President Shinra, but it's like a hologram, which is pretty strange, and this seems to be the Sector 5 Mach Reactor area where we fight Airbuster. But in the original game, you actually get to see President Shinra in person, and it's not a hologram, so I'm not really sure why they did this. And then for some reason, we get a Heidegger hologram as well. I don't really know why they're doing this exactly. And then we get our first summon reveal of the trailer with Ifrit, but if you pay attention to the beginning of this clip, he has his own health bar, and he's actually fighting alongside us. So this is very reminiscent of, like, Final Fantasy XII. where you brought out a summon and actually fought alongside you against the enemies for a set amount of time, and maybe the bar could also be a timer and not necessarily a health bar. And then we get a shot of what I presume to be the top of that tower, because in the original game this is where we fight Reno for the first time. And actually that just clicked in my head that fight in the church earlier with Reno is something brand new to the game, because that didn't happen in the original. Then we get a shot of the Eligor enemy for the first time, which is pretty awesome, but then we see somebody use Shiva against him. What's interesting about this is that you fight him in the train graveyard, which happens after the wall market stuff, get dropped into the sewers, fight apps, y'all crawl up into the train graveyard, which means that we're going to get Shiva around there or sometime before then. And then we get another shot of what I believe is them going up that tower. They're putting a lot of emphasis on this scene in this trailer, so I think they're trying to tug at our heartstrings because a lot of us know what happens. And then we get a pretty badass shot of Tifa, Barret, and Cloud overlooking a pretty destroyed area, what I think is after the plate falls, because there's no plate above them. You can see the sky and everything. But in the original game, we swing off of that tower where we fight Reno, so I'm not entirely sure. But either way, it's a pretty badass shot. And there you have YouTube, my sort of in-depth breakdown of the new trailer. This is by far easily my favorite trailer we've received for this game. It's given us so much and shown us so much. Holy hell. We got to see some new gameplay, some mini games, some summons, character reveals, new locations, wall market. Like it just showed us so much, man. It was just such a fantastic trailer, better than I was expecting. So it really makes me wonder what the hell they're going to show us for 40 minutes during Tokyo Game Show, because this was fantastic. Speaking of 40 minutes, that advanced gameplay special is happening tonight with Famitsu and Dengeki. I'll have the live stream linked in the description below, the links to it. For me, Central Time, US, it's going to be about 11 p.m. So again, you got to look up your own time, depending on your time zone. If anything relevant comes from that, we'll do a video on it probably tomorrow. I don't want to put out 2 videos today if I don't have to. So all that's really left is to pass off to you guys. What are your thoughts on this new trailer? I'd be surprised if you guys didn't love it. It pretty much gave us everything we wanted outside of what, like a Rufus reveal and Red 13 reveal. That's kind of all we're missing. If I missed anything substantial, be sure and let me know in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay up to date with more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on all my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at TheDashingDavid. And my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys. Give me forever for a while, quit acting like